Now hear from one of the coalition's conveners. We now go above and beyond the headlines with Brother Armin Luistro, former Education Secretary. Thank you so much for joining us, brother. We just heard the retired Supreme Court Justice say that the Filipino people should elect national leaders who have integrity, competence, patriotism, and a vision for the country. Don't the leaders, brother, under the Duterte administration have these same kind of traits?
Well, we deserve better. And you can see that in the various programs that this government has been pushing. And it's even before the pandemic. Those of us who belong to churches are very, very much afraid of the Anti-Terror Act now. The killings have continued under the war on drugs. And definitely, we have not done much on the West Philippine Sea. So a lot of talk, but very little action. And you could always look at how this government is working on and addressing the vaccine as well as the COVID cases.
But brother, so many issues on the table, from the West Philippine Sea to the COVID-19 response to the extrajudicial killings. But is this the time to set up a political organization when we are in the middle of a pandemic? Shouldn't we be uniting as one country to be able to resolve our issues?
That's exactly why, if you look at the conveners, none of us are actual political animals. I come from the academe. There are people who really are retired justices. There's a former commissioner of audit. We are people who are so concerned about what's happening in the country today. We just feel, even outside of politics, that something better be offered to our people. And we cannot just say, pamumuliti ka lang yan. We have to grab the problems by the horn, do something, and we have to do it now. So we're not politicizing, but we are engaging ourselves in what our people deserve.
So brother, why doesn't 1sambahayan have any political affiliation like the Liberal Party? But we've also seen in the convener slate that some of you have supported the opposition in past elections.
In our personal capacity, yes. But you will see that even among the conveners, we've had different political preferences. But in this particular case, this broad coalition has brought together those differences only because we have seen that at the end of the day, we have to serve our people. And we have to transcend our differences. And that's what we are very worried about. When you look at the response to COVID-19, we feel we could be a little more organized. We could have ordered the vaccine so much earlier. We could have addressed all of these as best as possible and not use military force. But sadly, we are already experiencing the consequences, the negative consequences of inaction. Justice Tony calls it incompetence of the government.
Yeah, but Brother Armin, it is also easier said than done, because when we faced this pandemic and when there were lockdowns in mid-March of 2020, nobody really knew how to handle this situation. So we're now looking at the whole situation of the COVID-19 response from the rearview mirror. So we could basically say we could have done this, we could have done that.
Yes, but why would the Philippines be lagging behind all other countries in the world, including our nearest neighbors? I think we could have learned a lesson or two. But just on the particular case of ordering the vaccines, I think if there was real political will, and political will, we have seen that in so many other programs of government. The bad ones like EJK, the anti-terror bill, if they want to serve the people, they can do it. They can fire a Supreme Court justice. They can incarcerate on wrong charges a senator if they want to. That's political will. Where's the political will on the vaccine and on COVID-19? So on the essential things, it's missing. On the non-essential things, on persecution, it's there. So we feel that with better organization, we don't really need the best, the brightest all the
Yeah.
time. We just need people who have the heart to serve our people.
Brother Armin, you mentioned about the shortcomings of this Duterte administration. But if you take a look at the surveys over the past year, the president remains very popular, especially in handling this COVID-19 response. What do you think will be the edge of the opposition a year and 2 months from now when the election takes place in May 2022?
I think we need to listen to the people on the ground. Surveys are good. They give us a lead. But when you listen to what's happening on the barangay level, those who have not had support from government, those who now are lining up to hospitals looking for aid, those who are not sure whether they will get the vaccine or not, the program is not even very clear. You know, you go from one province to the next and travel, the protocols are different from one province to the next. So and there's a lot of information, misinformation even in the different departments of government. There is no unified answer, and I think part of that is really basic organization. So we feel that the basic aspirations of those on the ground have not really reached the ears of the government, despite the malasakit nominal programs. I don't really think, if you ask the poor, not survey, you really go house to house, you will recognize that so many people are suffering today.
Brother, the opposition failed miserably in the 2019 senatorial elections, not winning a single seat. And the opposition lost for president in 2016. What lessons could be learned from 2019 and 2016 that could turn the tide in the opposition's favor in 2022?
Well, in the first place, I think we need to understand that young people would be a key force in the next elections. I think while many of the young people, even in the surveys, have shown that they are really for democratic space, not too many of the young people have actually registered. So one very key area is ensuring that the young people of today will register and then vote. I think that's one key factor that we may have failed in the last elections. We have not really taken the effort to actually ask the young people to vote, well, to first register and then to vote.
So Brother Armin, you have a vetting process. You have several people in mind. The main administration candidates also have their own candidates, and there are several right now in the lead. You have the likes of Sara Duterte, Bongo, Manny Pacquiao, Bongbong Marcos. If only one of them is chosen to run for president and the other one is will be running for vice president, and there are two others who were not chosen and are disappointed that they're not part of the administration ticket, will you accept them into the opposition?
Well, as Justice Carpio mentioned earlier, we have some non-negotiables. So it's not just a matter of numbers. And those non-negotiables are those that are about the democratic space that every Filipino, the basic decency that Filipinos deserve today. And there are, for example, even if they balk from the forces of Duterte, if they still support the death penalty or EJK, I think that goes against what we believe in, and that goes against what Filipinos value. So that will be part of the criteria for us.
All right, a lot of non-negotiables for the Isang Bayan group. Thank you so much for joining us on Newsnight on CNN Philippines. Brother Armin Luistro, one of the conveners of Isang Bayan.